All right. Welcome all to a bit of a different video we're doing today. Basically, in honor of Nine Inch Nails, my favorite band, announcing a tour today. I wanted to make a kind of video to, I don't know, basically tier list their albums. Um, I've listened to all of them, and again, they're my favorite band of all time. And I just kind of wanted to rank them. So this is a personal ranking. There might be some spots that might ruffle some feathers. Again, I love all their music, so it's very hard for me to place anything really low. But I've really thought about this, and yeah, I think that what do you call it? This will be pretty fun. So again, it's a personal ranking. I'm probably basing it off of album enjoyability, how good it is generally, how much I'm listening to it or revisit, how much I have listened to it, how much I revisit it, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome again, all friends, foes, minor acquaintances, complete strangers, and everything in between. Um, Here we go. So we'll start with their debut album. It is Pretty Hate Machine. I have a lot of the CDs, so I'll show them as well. Pretty Hate Machine. What can you say? It's a very strong debut album. Um, I think my favorite song on it is Terrible Lie. Um, uh, you know, and I apologize for my old person mouse. I'm sorry. Just my eyes. I look at the computer way too much. I need a big mouse to see where the fuck I am. Sorry. Um, you know, This is a C tier. This is a C tier. Is a great album, but there are so many better albums to me personally. I just don't really revisit it a lot ever. So I'm sorry, Pretty Hate Machine fans. It's just not for me. Not for me. But it's a good album. It's a good album. Um, Moving on, and I'm gonna be on a roll of ruffling feathers to start. Oh my god. Okay. The next is Broken. Um, you know, I'm gonna be real. I like Wish, I really do, but I never listen to Broken like ever. I don't revisit it. Not that I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I just never find myself ever returning to it. So I apologize, Wish enjoyers and Broken enjoyers, but I how much I've listened to it, how much I re-listen to it, really weighs into this, um, more so than just how good it is and stuff like that. So while it's a cool album, check out this. It's pretty cool. Um, EP actually, but I just never ever revisit it. So sorry. Um, the Downward Spiral. Okay, next on the list. This is a great album, and it is widely regarded by many fans as their best album of all time. And I do agree it is a great album, but I don't think it's the best album of all time of theirs, and I don't find myself revisiting it too often. I kind of have to be in a certain mindset to revisit it. Um, so that kind of hurts it a little bit. I will say though, my favorite songs on it, it might be stereotypical. I love Closer, but Ruiner, The Becoming is also amazing. I Do Not Want This is very great and haunting. Um, Eraser, I've come into a great more appreciation of. Even Mr. Self Destruct, the opening track, I used to think I didn't really like it a whole lot, but I think now I really enjoy it. So, with that being said, because I don't really re-listen to it a whole lot, but because I've listened to it a good amount and it's very good, I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's a solid, and great. I'm not gonna lie though, because a lot of people like would say, oh, getting people into Nine Inch Nails, and they were like, oh, Listen to Downward Spiral. I would not recommend this as a first album to get into from them. I would not, frankly. um, say that what you will. Moving on to the Fragile. All my friends will know that this is. I've talked so much glowingly about this. Look at this beautiful double album. Look at the back. Oh, just this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous album. The CDs. Um, I love The Fragile. It is my favorite album of all time. It is my most listened to album of all time. It is one of the greatest albums of all time to me. Um, I can't even really go down into what do you call it, like specific songs. I will go through them that I love, but I can't even highlight like this one's my favorite or whatever because I just love it so much. Just the journey it pulls you on from disc one to disc two. I think disc two is really slept on. Um, but I put it in S real quick just to say it doesn't belong in S. It belongs in a tier of its own, which is why I made S3, just three S's basically. But boom. The Fragile is just head and shoulders to me above everything they've ever put out. It's just everything about it. So The Day the World Went Away is uh, just one of my favorite songs. That Into the Frail, Into the Wretched is an insane run. And then Wearing This Together is also beautiful. Um, you call it La Mer in the Into the Great Below is just, and then how that segues into disc two is just beautiful, and um, it hurts your soul a little bit to listen to it, but it uplifts you somehow. Um, so on disc two, I've mentioned I think it's a little slept on. I really love the back half. The complication all the way until Ripe with Decay is insane. The big come down is just hard hitting, just crazy, and you feel like you ascend a little bit when you listen to it. But Ripe with Decay is just probably one of my favorite album closers. Just because of how like raw and gritty, and it feels like westerny on a road, like desert road or something like that. That's what I think of when I listen to it all the time, and it is sick as hell. It is sick as hell. Um, so usually when I listen to the Fragile, I'm gonna listen to that whole hour 43 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. I'm probably gonna listen. Maybe I skip a few. I'm not gonna lie. I usually don't start with Somewhat Damaged because I like a bit more of an ease. So I usually skip that one. Not that I don't like it, but I just like starting with The Day the World Went Away and then moving on. I might skip maybe an instrumental such as like The Mark Has Been Made. Um, but other than that, fantastic double album. I mean, what can you say? It is my favorite album of all time. All right. Moving on to this one is not a album I have a CD of. Heck, I don't even know if they make CDs of it. This is Still, um, which is kind of a more stripped back. Has features some stripped back old songs of theirs as well as some new instrumentals. Um, I really like this one. I revisit probably when I'm feeling really bad, to be honest. um, from so like I don't listen to the like the redux of like Something I Never Have. Most of those like basically I just listen from Gone Still up until Leaving Hope. It's just a beautiful track. It has The Day the World Went Away, a remix of that, a much quieter version. I've already told you how The Day the World Went Away is one of my favorite songs. So need I say more why I really like Still a lot? But all that could have been is hauntingly beautiful, tragic, and just heartbreaking, heart wrenching. But Leaving Hope almost, I don't know, it feels very, um, I don't know. A lot of songs from Nine Inch Nails, the ones that are more emotional and whatever, sometimes they leave you with a sense of hope, but also doom. How would you say? Both at the same time, so you can oscillate. You can listen to it one way or another sometimes. So it's kind of weird. That's how I feel when I listen to this back half of Still. So I'm gonna put it in A, below the Downward Spiral because I won't listen to it like all the songs, maybe just half of them, and then move on. But it is still really great. So moving on until With Teeth. I'm not gonna lie, I've slept on With Teeth for quite a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'll be honest. I'm gonna share all my thoughts about it. I think that to me, it felt B-sidesy to me to start, and I know a lot of people really like With Teeth, so but I've been getting into it a lot more lately. Maybe it just wasn't right for me when I listened to it in the past, but like I said, been listening into it more, and I really appreciate some of the songs on here. Um, Hand That Feeds was always great, um, but I really love like the line begins to blur all the way into the right where it belongs. It's great. Obviously, the standout ones every day is exactly the same. Only sunspots, you know what you are. Some of those are kind of obvious, like they're great. But I also really like Love Is Not Enough. It's very just the I don't know, is it a bass or something on it is insane. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's awesome. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't know if I can elevate it quite into A tier, but I do think, based on maybe recency bias, that I do like it more than Pretty Hate Machine. So there's that. Okay. Moving on until year zero. I think people will know this. My friends will at least. I think Year Zero is one of my favorite albums from Nine Inch Nails. This is an S tier. Uh, it's probably the greatest album that is not in Fragile tier. So, um, look at this. Awesome, sick as hell. You got your Bible and your gun. Insanely relevant to the modern day, considering our president. Um, and just the message and story it weaves is awesome. I really love so much about this, the aesthetic, the ARG. Obviously, I was fucking 8 years old when that came out, so I wish but all the anti-Bush stuff and yada yada yada. That's awesome. That's sick as hell. Anyways, basically the run from the beginning of the end all the way until the Great Destroyer is something I will is immaculate. I love Vessel Me I'm Not capital G is awesome. God Given. You know what? I really like The Greater Good, even though it's kind of a weird track. It's very haunting, and there's a lot of alienness to it. I mean, I think the hand, the presence, the hand is supposed to be sort of extraterrestrial. So it's a very different album. Would I recommend it as a starter to Nine Inch Nails? No, but I think it is awesome nonetheless. Um, I think if I were to recommend anyone to start, how would you, get into Nine Inch Nails? That would be through the Fragile, but that's just backtracking a little bit. Moving forward, we will go into. I don't have a CD of this, but I think I probably could buy one on the cheap if I looked. But it is Ghosts 1 through 4. Again, I'm going chronological releases basically. Um, and Ghosts 1 through 4, I'm not gonna lie, I do like some of the instrumentals. I don't dislike instrumentals, but this one I just don't revisit a whole lot. In fact, I almost never do, so I'm gonna put it in D. But above broken because there are specific songs which I will tune into here and there. Um, it's just to me the reason why I put it in D, not just because I don't listen to it a whole lot, but because there's not a whole lot of like cohesion. It's a lot of just assorted instrumentals, and well, that's fine, and I appreciate the more cohesion of a bunch of their other releases. So just not for me, but it's interesting to listen to on occasion. Um, Anyways, moving on to 2008, The Slip. All right, controversial. Um, I really like the slip. I really, really like the slip. I've been listening to it a lot this year. I've slept on it too, like with Teeth, for a very long time. I used to think that it was the album that I liked the least, to be honest, even below Broken. However, I've been getting into it lately, and it's one of my favorite albums from them. Um, it's got the hardest album art, I think, too, of them. I love that the design of the slip. Um, I think ordering of the tracks is a little bit jarring, and I'm gonna be honest. There's only one song I really don't like, and is A Million. I don't know. I just never gotten into that one, but everything else on it I really love. So Discipline, Echoplex, Head Down, Lights in the Sky is just a beautiful song. I love it so much, and so I'm gonna put it in A, and I'm gonna leave it just at the bottom of A. I'm not gonna let recency bias move it any further than it needs to, but I think it'd be controversial to put it just in A, say above with Teeth or Pretty Hate Machine. But you know what? Again, it's about my enjoyability um, of it, and so I'm gonna put it there. All right, so we move on to uh 2013's Hesitation Marks. I've got a different album cover here. Oh, I wanted to say I don't have the slip on CD. I wish I did, but I think it's more of a collector's find. It's harder to find, and I haven't been willing to put out the money for it, but I want to, and maybe I will one day. um Moving on to Hesitation Marks, I have a different album cover. I think this is the deluxe edition. So here's my Hesitation Marks, and how it shows up on Spotify. um it's got some dead bees there and some blood on letters and yada yada. It's a really good album. I really like it. I think it got. Where am I gonna put it though? I'm considering putting an A. I'm gonna consider putting an A below the slip. Um, I really like Copy of a Came Back Haunted, the music video by David Lynch. May he rest in peace. Um, Find My Way is beautiful. Um, It's a lot of healing and moving on in this album, and Trent's obviously a changed person by this album from from the Downward Spiral. So I think that's what a lot of people don't appreciate. They always want him to be this heavy hitting, hard, depressive rut, cycling into doom person, and that's just. I hope he's not that, right? So obviously his music shouldn't reflect that always for his rest of his life. So I think it's slept on. I do know there are some hesitation mark enjoyers, and I am one of them. I am one of them. But the bottom of A is where I will put it. All right, moving on to the EP trilogy. So starting off with Not the Actual Events. Um, you know what? I really like this one a lot. Um, I love Dear World. It is one of my favorite songs, actually. Um, She's Gone Away is also haunting because it's kind of the intersection of a lot of my autistic hyperfixations on, say, Nine Inch Nails, Twin Peaks, um, and I've even associated it with some D&D stuff. So it's an amazing EP. It's the hardest hitting of them, I think, like sonically, the heaviest of them. The Idea of You, and there's even the I can't think of what it's called right now. Burning Bright, Field on Fire is like a sludgy kind of end. I really like this one. So I'm honestly gonna. Ooh, I'm actually thinking of putting an S. I really like Not the Actual Events. I really do. I'm gonna put it in S. Although I haven't listened to it a lot lately, I do think I like it more than the Downward Spiral. So that's why I gotta at least put it, there. It's short. It's 30 minutes, so uh, I don't know if I can put it quite above Year Zero, but I do really like it. So moving on, we've got Add Violence. Um, Here it is right here. Um, I have a complicated relationship with Bad Violence. I think there's some songs on here that I really, really love, such as Less Than. Um, oh, what's the other one that is tribute to Bowie? I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, I have on the side, if you see me looking over here, the album releases, but it doesn't show the EPs, so I'm like, I can't really click on them to see the songs. Just go through the booklet. It's This Isn't the Place. I just remembered it. It's called This Isn't the Place. It's a beautiful song. The background world. You know what? I'm crazy, but I listened to that whole like 6 minute of noise at the end of it. Um, I love the aesthetics of this album though a lot. That knob, just like this machine aesthetic with like, oh, it's almost nuclear kind of test machine. I don't know. That's the vibe I get from it, like a nuclear facility, like control board or something. And I really like it. It's an interesting one, but I don't know if I can put it into S. And in fact, I'm probably going to put it in B, but a high B, probably over with Teeth because I've revisited a lot more. But Less Than is one of my favorite tracks from them. So what can you say? Moving on to Bad Witch. Honestly, this is one of the hardest, what do you call it, album arts they've done. I love the collageness of it. I love this, you know, black star, if you will, or whatever it is, the bones with his finger pointing up, whatever the hell this is, whatever the hell that is. There's the back of it. Looks like a bacteria or DNA, which kind of goes in line with the mutation kind of themes, the changing stuff like that. I really like Bad Witch a lot. I love God Break Down the Door. That is a amazing song. And I also really like the instrumental I'm Not From This World. In fact, that's I think my one of my pinned tweets has that, like, I'm not from this world. Um, so it is and Shit Mirror is also really good, the opener. So and honestly, I think I what I when I really liked the trilogy is whenever I listened to them all back to back instead of separately, and that's when I really got an appreciation for them, because I actually do think that um, the noise of the background world in Add Violence transitions actually amazingly into Shit Mirror. It's kind of crazy, and I'm sure it's intentional. But anyways, so where am I gonna put Bad Witch? I want to put it in A, but I don't know where. I don't know if it's tough. Do I put it above the Downward Spiral or below it? I'm gonna put it above it. I'm gonna put it above it. I'm crazy here, I know. Downward spiral heads are going to be coming for my head. I'm sorry. I really love God Break Down the Door, and I'm Not From This World. It is a really cool, interesting sonically album. I love the saxophone in it. It's kind of a tribute to Black Star by David Bowie, who passed, and who had, obviously a lot of saxophone in his last album, Black Star, which is very curious that this right here kind of looks like a black star to me. Um, so, um, I don't know. I just some of the creative ideas I get from this album also incorporate into my own art. So that's why I think I rate it higher than the Downward Spiral, because it challenges me in a way, artistically. The collageness. I love collages too, and so it challenges me to think, which is why I like this one. I'll put higher than Downward Spiral. Okay. Moving on, we'll conclude the last two. I'm not sure which one came out first here between these two, so we'll just go with Together, which is this white one there. These are two instrumentals. I don't have CDs of these. These are instrumentals released in 2020 during COVID. And you know what? Together, I slept on that one, I think, for a while, but I've been listening to it, and it is very beautiful. And you know, I'm gonna put it above Still. but I'm not going to put it above the Downward Spiral. It is very beautiful, though. It is very, very beautiful. I think I really love Together. That's my favorite song. Usually, though, when I listen to it, I'm going to listen to this whole album. This whole album. It's just one of those that warrants you to not just pick apart individual songs here and there. It's one that you just gotta sit through the entire thing. And a lot of Nine Inch Nails albums are like that, but this one especially, I think. Okay, and so the last one is uh, Ghosts. Oh, that was Ghosts 5 Together, and so this is Ghosts 6 Locusts. Um, Sorry, I didn't mean to put it there. This is a weird one to rank for me because it is basically the dark counterpart to Together. And I'm gonna put it down here real quick. And that's not where I'm gonna put it. Okay, I'm gonna put it there because I want to lift my hands and kind of talk about it. So it's complicated to me because this is kind of the more hope. The Together is more the hope uh, ish in of the 2020 releases. I actually do think that the end of Locusts actually ends on a more hopeful place than Together does. It's kind of weird. They're like a mirror of each other, right? Where there's a lot of warmth and hope in Together, and it kind of ends in this kind of darker place. I feel like, whereas in Locusts, it's in this very very dark place to throughout most of uh, the entire album. Another what do you call it? Full instrumental album, but it ends somewhere safer and prettier, and I really like that about it. So based on sheer listenability of it, um I'm gonna put it, or in how much I've listened to it, I'm gonna put it in A as well. So I'm realizing I have quite a lot of A's, so I'm gonna bump down hesitation marks into B. It's not letting me. There we go. Just because there's so much A, and I'm gonna put I'm gonna put it in there, right above twinning with Together. I think that's an appropriate place for it. What can I say? I just love locusts in general, the creatures. So I'm naturally drawn to this one, I think. But the songs in particular I really like are the Worriment Waltz is it's actually really beautiful. It's a very calm meander. Run Like Hell is also really good. I really, really like Turn This Off, Please. It is one of the scariest tracks, frankly, instrumentally. It really makes me think of like alien abduction when I listen to it. I'm not gonna lie. That's just the vibe I get from it. But it is a sick as hell track and haunting, and I really like listening to it for some reason. Um, so um, yeah, that's the Nine Inch Nails tier list. Okay, sorry that was a long 28 minutes. And again, I don't want to ruffle any feathers with it. This is just my personal ranking, how much I listen to them, and all that. So um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much more to say. So thank you for tuning in, all my friends, foes, minor acquaintances, total strangers, and everybody in between. I thank you for tuning in. And I haven't made a lot of. I've been filming some things, but I haven't released anything like art collage wise. But soon I hope to do that. So be on the lookout. If you're paying attention, be on the lookout. Thank you for making it this far, and I'll see you around.